Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. The Saints have moved into their offseason, and there are some decisions that have to be made within the organization regarding some free agents of the guys that were on their teams. For the purpose of this exercise, we're not necessarily going to talk about the entirety of the free agent market. We're just going to talk about guys that were under contract for the Saints this year that they have to decide whether or not will be back with New Orleans. And there are a couple on this list that I think the Saints need to keep around, and there are a couple that I think need to move on or will move on. And I'll talk about both of those. As far as the keeps, the Saints need to prioritize Andrus Peat. I know that's been controversial at times throughout his career, but the fact of the matter is that you've got a right tackle who hasn't decided if he can continue his football career, and a left tackle that you don't believe is a left tackle, and that's Trevor Penning is obviously who I'm talking about. So unless you've got someone in mind that you can go grab in free agency that is not Andrus Peat, that you think is an upgrade at an affordable price, you've got to decide that Andrus Peat is at least on your roster next year. I don't know if having Andrus Peat at left tackle is necessarily a ticket to the all-pro team for your left tackle, but it's certainly more functional than Trevor Penning right now. And you've got to bring in a new offensive line coach to try to guide Trevor Penning along and see what you can get out of him. But right now, I think the odds are the Saints' left tackle next year is Andrus Peat. That's what it feels like. So I think it's vital that the Saints prioritize him and make him a part of the plans. If you want to try to bring Trevor Penning along, that's fine. Right now, I think Pete's got to be the guy. And another guy that's a veteran at this point in his career, he's 27 years old, that I think is got to be a part of this is Isaac Yiadom. He was third rounder out of Boston College back in 2018. He spent time with Denver, the Giants, the Packers, the Texans, and the Saints signed him mid-year in 2022 and brought him back for this past season. And I think that's a guy that can absolutely help you in the secondary. There's a world where the Saints decide to trade Marshawn Lattimore. And in that world, you've got to have some depth to back up Paulson Adebo and to back up Alontae Taylor and to play in the slot, play the nickel, help on special teams. And I think Yiadom has proven himself to be a guy who can absolutely do that. Is he your number one corner? He's not. He's never been that in his NFL career. But there's a reason why he continues to hang around the league, and it's because it's productive. And there's a reason why the Saints brought him back. And you can pay him very little, veteran minimum for him, and add depth to that secondary. Now, maybe Lattimore isn't moved on from. We're exploring all these options because that's what the Saints have to do. I think the Saints have to get younger and cheaper at a lot of different positions. And if you can do that by getting some assets for Marshawn Lattimore and need proven pros, you can elevate Alontae Taylor and have Paulson Adebo be your number one corner. I don't think he's as good as Lattimore, but I don't think it's a huge step down, especially considering Lattimore's injury history of late. So that's an option, and I think one that the Saints need to look into. Those are guys that I'd like to see him keep, and there are more, but those are guys I'd like to see them keep. As far as guys they need to move on from, I think Zach Bond is absolutely in that category. He may become a really impactful player in his NFL career, but it's not going to be in Dennis Allen's defense. I think we've proven that Zach Bond is not utilized at a way that best suits him in this Dennis Allen defense because he hasn't been productive at all, really. He's never had a season where he posted more than 30 tackles. His high is 30. He did that this past season and then 2 years ago in 2021. In 4 years, he's got 2 sacks. We all kind of agree that he's a pretty good pass rusher. He's not used in that way. And he's got 6 tackles for loss. I don't think Zach Bond is a guy that should be cut, and I don't think he's bordering on a Pro Bowler. But I also don't think he fits into what the Saints want to do on defense. And that's fine. Like, you have an identity. You have what you want to be. You drafted this guy. You don't love his skill set. And I just don't think it works. I think both teams can better their situation. I think the Saints can get better at that linebacker spot for what Dennis Allen wants. And I think Zach Bond can be utilized differently in a different spot that brings out the best in him. So I think that's a guy that they're going to move on from. And then I think this one's obvious. This is not really a hot take or some sort of revolutionary thing I discovered in the stats, but I think Jimmy Graham's time is done. I think he's made that clear. I think the interesting piece is what Jimmy Graham wants to do now instead of play football. Beck, are you aware of what Jimmy Graham's next foray in life is going to be?
Yes, I did see recently what he apparently is going to do.
What is that?
He's going to swim to across the Arctic Ocean, I think,
or
sail perhaps.
So no, he wants to sail the circumference of the globe.
Yeah, but I think the Arctic Ocean is next.
Yeah, like he wants to sail the entirety of the oceans. It's like, so, hey, if that's what you want to do instead of trying to be a red zone touchdown threat this late in your life, yeah, I'm all for it. But I think that Jimmy Graham's time is done. That little segment was less so about strategic X's and O's in footballs and more about, hey, this guy wants to do something that a lot of people don't have any interest in doing. But
apparently he's going to row across the Arctic Ocean.
Just a lot of water games for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of boat are we talking about sailing on? Like, are we doing this on, like, some sort of catamaran deal that's, like, dealing with the elements? Or are we, like, pulling out the wallet and going heavy with, some sort of yacht type deal?
It looks like it's going to be a pretty complex deal. Not only that as well, but he also has a pilot's license, and he's
Jimmy
certified
Graham, Renaissance man.
Yeah, he's certified for complex airplane, multi-engine airplane, seaplane. He basically can fly anything that has wings on it or a propeller. And he's going to be participating in the Arctic Challenge, is what they're calling it. It's something that people do. It seems they try to do it every year. And it's going to be rowing 1,000 kilometers across the Arctic Ocean.
So Jimmy Graham is all of these things: collegiate basketball player, all-pro tight end, licensed pilot, rowing guy, crew team member. I don't know how you would even
Yeah, I'm
say
not
about
sure,
that.
but it's a 4-person boat.
I can't do anything. All I do is sit here and yap about sports. He's accomplished all this kind of stuff, and he's 6'7", which is also cool. That's a life. Well, he's not even halfway done with his life, but it's an impressive amount of resume ticks at this point in his life. And Saints didn't use him a lot this year, but that I don't think was a huge surprise to me. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button. Leave your comments in the section below, and hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.